got thoughts. I got two things we're gonna talk about tonight. One, we're gonna talk about $23 salads. We are gonna talk about $23 salads. I did I put up, I don't know if you saw it, I put up a quick, what do they call it? They've been begging me to do YouTube shorts. So I finally got around to putting up another YouTube short. I do one a month, you know, and it's like, you know, I made 4 cents though. I made 4 cents doing it, so, you know, I guess I gotta keep putting them up. That's what YT tells me. But I did a short on a $23 salad, and we're gonna talk about $23 salads in a minute. Okay, let's talk about $23 salads real quick. Okay, you know I love the Bellagio, right? I mean, I love this place. I spend, out of all the properties on the Strip, I would say I spend the most time here. I've probably spent the most amount of money here. I've probably spent the most amount of time here. Between this and probably the Wynn is probably my two favorite properties in all of Las Vegas, but I do tend to spend the most amount of time here. So I love the Bellagio, but on occasion I gotta call them out on some stuff. And like I said, I did a little short. You can check that out on the salad activities. The complaint that I have is pretty simple. One, after 9 p.m., maximum 10 p.m., if you didn't have reservations to get your ass in a seat to eat at one of the restaurants here, you're SOL. You're either leaving the property to go eat somewhere that happens to be open, and most likely it's going to be, you know, like some junk food or whatnot, or you're going to bed hungry. Because the only opportunities to eat here afterwards is the snack place that we're going to pass on the way out of here. We'll pass it. It's like a, you know, a little snack shop, mostly like pizza and gluten type stuff, which I don't eat. So I was here last week, and it was late. It was around midnight or so, and I'm like, I'm freaking hungry, right? So I went over to I went that way. I went to the, you know, the chocolate water fountain air filter thing, because they do have good salads there. Like the salads that they put out look like the ones that they put up on the menu. However, I went over to the other snack shop because that place closes at 9. So I went over to the other one. There's like 50 people online, and I'm just like, okay. And I'm gonna pop some pictures up later showing you what they're advertising as their salads, which are 17 and 18 bucks. They got like a Greek and a Caesars, and it's up there and it looks amazing. I mean, piles of olives, piles of feta cheese, I mean, they look amazing. They're putting them up there in glorious 4K for you to enjoy. So I'm like, all right, I'll get me a salad, right? Because I'm hungry. So I ordered a salad, finally, after 50 people, because it's the only spot open, so, you know, they kind of monopolized it. Cool. And I don't look in the bag, right? But I did order chicken. Chicken was an extra $5, right? So I'm like, yeah, throw some chicken, you know, your boy needs some protein. And then it's like, they give you a little, you know, hockey puck thing with, you know, it's like probably Bluetooth, you know, buzzes you and whatnot. So I'm waiting. I waited like a half an hour for a salad, which is ridiculous. I mean, I doubt they just like cut it up fresh for me. That's an impossibility. But I get to the counter, my freaking buzzer finally goes off. The first thing it's asking me if I want to tip them 20%. The first thing they're asking me as I go through the thing, if I want to tip them 20%. And I'm like, for what? You know, you gave me a buzzer, and now you're telling me if I want napkins, I gotta go over there. So it's like, why am I being asked for hustled for a tip straight out the gate? You know, so I wasn't down with that. And I get it. And I get this thing home in a bag. Now, when you order the same exact thing for the same exact price over by the pastry shop, you know, past the conservatory, they give you a beautiful cloth bag. I showed you what those salads look like. Those were intense. I mean, those were hearty, delicious salads. I expected the same. I didn't get a cloth bag. I got a little, it didn't even say Bellagio. It said MGM, blah, blah, whatever. Okay, cool. I get this thing home. I did give a tip. The tip I felt like, but I felt like I was being guilted into it because they really did nothing for me. I waited a half an hour, but I tend to tip everyone, So I tipped. I get this thing home. I get it out of the bag, and I was just like, what is that? I mean, legitimately, you'll see the pictures. Nothing like what it looked like in glorious 4K. There was about 30, 40 pieces of chopped lettuce, a little piece of feta cheese like this big, not even crumbled, just thrown in there, 4 pieces of chicken this big, 5 cherry tomatoes cut in half, and some limp, half-dead cucumbers that were cut in quarters and like paper thin. That's why they were like, like this. And it just made my head explode, I mean, yeah, food never looks like it's going to in the picture. No ifs, ands, or buts. I was a photographer for years, and I used to do a lot of food photography. And if you knew the games that we would have to play to pull off food photography, you'd barf. But you're not eating that, but you're not expecting it either. When we used to do pancakes and waffles, when I used to have to photograph breakfast places, you know what we used to use for syrup? Motor oil. Instead of syrup, we used to pour motor oil on the pancakes and the waffles because it didn't suck in as fast. Because by the time you photograph it under all these hot lights, if you use actual syrup, it would soak in and be gone. It wouldn't be dripping. We used to use motor oil. There was a million ways to cheat. I mean, we used to take the cosmetic wedges and put them in, the different sides to elevate, a burger and make it look like this. Meanwhile, the one you get looks like that. I know all the tricks, but a salad's a freaking salad. If you're gonna post a picture of what my salad is supposed to look like, make the freaking salad, because it was just a matter of volumetrics. I mean, there was no olives. They didn't even put olives. And if you see this picture that I'm gonna put up, it's like a quarter of it is a heap of delicious, unbelievable olives. This quarter was a heap of delicious this, and the whole thing was, I mean, a salad is easy to replicate what's up there because the pastry shop down there comes pretty damn close. That was worth every bit of the 23 bucks over there. That was a ripoff, I'm sorry to say. So, as much as I love Bellagio, that one, as much as I love Bellagio, they need to adjust something over there. And even the other stuff didn't look quite like on the menu. But I'm going to call them out on the salad activities. And I know I'm probably in the minority because a lot of people are all about, the pizza and the garlic knots. I don't eat that stuff. So my choices are extremely limited. All I can have is, basically for all intents and purposes, salads. When I want fast food. And that's what I got, and I was like madly disappointed. Although I will say, the dressing was pretty good. Is that a plus? I guess it's a plus. Yeah, I mean, it's first world problems, but it's also false advertising, which is a first world problem. I'm not going to feel bad about expecting what I want for the money that I'm paying. I'm simply not. That's why I'm saying it, because I know the Bellagio watches this, and they can compare what I posted, in the video to what they're advertising. That's just false ass advertising. So someone's got to do something about that. It's just, yeah. But again, as long as, like I said, as long as people keep paying, they're not saying anything and not complaining, and that's the world we live in. Everyone's afraid to, everyone's like, timid and afraid to speak up. And then you got the people at like Waffle House, who start throwing and breaking shit. So there's got to be a balance in between it, And I've rarely sent back food in Vegas. I think maybe once. One time, I think I think, you know what it is? It wasn't even that they cooked my steak bad. I think I was with the boys too. They just accidentally brought us the wrong steaks. They weren't miscooked, they weren't cold, they weren't overdone, it wasn't nothing like that. They were just hustling around and we ended up with someone else's. We probably could have ate them and fully enjoyed them, but they weren't the steaks that we had ordered. So I think that was the only time I was like, no, this isn't what I asked for, you know? I think that was absolutely it. But other than that, I don't think I've sent back a meal, but had I looked in it first, I mean, what am I gonna say? This doesn't look like what's on the picture. I mean, these people who work in these places make like $12 an hour. That's why, you know, they're asking, the first thing they ask you is, you know, you want to give us 20%? Do I want to tip $4, $5 on my $23 salad that, you know, is probably worth $1 at most? The container it came in was probably more valuable than the stuff they put in there, you know, but whatever. So yeah, they don't make any kind of money whatsoever, and I hope it is making it back into their pockets. But still, what am I gonna do? You know, be a male Karen? Let me speak to your manager. There's only one olive. I count 54 in your picture. I mean, I could do that, but you know, people would even like rag on me for doing that. They'd be like, "Hey, get out of the way! I want to order my tiny little piece of pizza for $29." You know, that's the society we live in.
Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.